Many wrestling fans have been very concerned about the status of Paul Heyman following the vicious betrayal from Solo Sikoa and the rest of the new Bloodline last week on Friday Night SmackDown, and for good reason. There was certainly a very somber mood in the arena, as Paul Heyman was frantically escorted out in an ambulance to the hospital to undergo serious medical procedures after being ruthlessly sent through the announcer's table by the Bloodline. Paul Heyman was completely lifeless and motionless following the betrayal by Solo Sikoa, and there is a very sad new update to share with you guys regarding Paul Heyman's status, courtesy of the real tribal chief Roman Reigns. One of our insider sources has reported that Roman Reigns has been by Paul Heyman's side in the hospital after booking a flight to New York City immediately following SmackDown last week, reporting, quote, "While Roman Reigns hasn't been featured on WWE television since WrestleMania 40, Roman has still kept up with the WWE product and watches each and every episode of SmackDown, along with most episodes of Raw, just to keep up to date with things so he's not out of the loop, and also has been in constant communication with the likes of Triple H and SmackDown general manager Nick Aldis over the past few weeks as his return was drawing closer." Roman Reigns obviously witnessed what we all saw on SmackDown, with Paul Heyman being viciously betrayed by Solo Sikoa and the new Bloodline after Paul refused to acknowledge Solo as his tribal chief. And like we mentioned in our last video, Roman Reigns immediately contacted Hunter and Aldis about his WWE return, which is going to be a lot sooner than originally planned due to the shocking actions by Solo Sikoa, and considering how serious Paul Heyman's condition is after SmackDown, it's no surprise that Roman Reigns booked the first flight he could to New York to be by his Wiseman side in the hospital, likely getting the private jet from WWE to come in quickly. Roman Reigns has definitely had a rough week after the passing of his father, Sika, and now what's happened to Paul Heyman, and apparently there is concern from everyone behind the scenes that Paul Heyman's current health condition is critical right now, which has caused Roman to be a bit of an emotional wreck right now. It's no surprise that Roman Reigns is really feeling the emotional turmoil with everything that's happened to him this past week, and the fact that Paul Heyman is reportedly in critical condition in the hospital after what transpired on SmackDown this week has lit a fire under Roman Reigns to seek revenge on Solo Sikoa and make him pay for what he did to his Wiseman, with one of our insider sources sharing the following sad details regarding Paul Heyman's current condition. Quote, "There has been little news or updates provided by WWE regarding Paul Heyman's status following SmackDown last week, and that's reportedly for good reason we've been told, as Heyman's current condition in the hospital is rumored to be critical as of right now. Paul Heyman is not only 58 years old, but his actual health has apparently not been that great over the past couple of years, suffering from minor health issues that haven't been disclosed to the public, and the way in which Solo Sikoa and the rest of the new Bloodline destroyed Paul Heyman on SmackDown last week, sending him crashing through the announcer's desk in a way that would seriously injure a legit young wrestler. It's unfortunately no surprise that Paul Heyman's health is in serious jeopardy at the moment. Triple H, Nick Aldis, and other high-ranking WWE executives are apparently hoping and praying for any kind of relieving news when it comes to Paul Heyman's current health situation before revealing any news to the WWE Universe, as Hunter doesn't want to worry any fans, even though things are currently not looking good for Paul Heyman. While Solo Sikoa and the new Bloodline may face serious repercussions with Roman Reigns when he returns, that may not be all, as Triple H and WWE may be taking action in the coming days against Solo, Tama Tonga, Tonga Loa, and Jacob Fatu for what they did to Paul Heyman. But we've been told that right now, the only focus is on Paul Heyman and making sure that he's alright. Roman Reigns is reportedly the one providing updates to WWE brass regarding Paul Heyman's condition, and the last that was heard from Roman is that Paul Heyman's currently in a medically induced coma because of the head trauma he suffered after being sent hard through the announcer's desk on SmackDown, which is very, very serious to say the least, and the concern is reportedly beginning to grow behind the scenes regarding Paul, and the focus is now beginning to head in the direction of how WWE are going to break the news to fans. This is obviously a very stressful situation for not only Roman Reigns, but WWE in general, as Paul Heyman is looked at as being a very important and integral person behind the scenes in WWE, who has a much greater impact in WWE Backstage than just portraying his character on television with the Bloodline, as Heyman is relied upon for a number of roles that fans aren't fully aware of. Heyman is basically an important executive in WWE at this point, and the fact that Paul Heyman's reportedly in a medically induced coma right now has put everyone at edge behind the scenes, as you would probably expect. Roman Reigns has no plans of leaving Paul Heyman's side in the hospital, and is hoping that WWE fans continue to send their thoughts and prayers to Paul Heyman in the coming days and weeks, with Reigns hoping the fans make their feelings abundantly clear to the new Bloodline on SmackDown that their actions won't go unpunished, with Roman wanting the destructive faction booed out of the building until he's able to return and seek revenge, which he can't do for the time being as he's refusing to leave Paul Heyman's side during his serious health battle right now. So, as you guys can see, Paul Heyman's health status after the betrayal from Solo Sikoa and the new Bloodline on SmackDown last week is actually a lot worse than any fans could have imagined, and it goes far beyond Paul Heyman simply being sidelined with minor injuries and being written off of television. He is seemingly fighting for his life at the moment in the hospital, with the tribal chief Roman Reigns by his side, and one source noted that fans should not expect to see Heyman back in WWE anytime soon, even if Roman Reigns returns in the near future. Quote, "As you would likely expect, Paul Heyman is not going to be coming back to WWE anytime soon, and is not factored into any of the plans and creative moving forward for the time being given how serious his health condition is at the moment. So when Roman Reigns returns in the near future, once he's comfortable enough with Paul Heyman's condition that he can leave his side, Roman would not be returning with Paul Heyman. Even if Paul recovers, he would not be getting cleared by WWE medical staff to return, especially considering there would be a threat of something similar happening to Paul in the future when Roman Reigns engages in an all-out war with the new Bloodline. It simply would not be safe for Paul Heyman to be anywhere near that scene, considering how bad things are for Paul after just one brutal encounter with the new Bloodline led by Solo Sikoa. However, like we mentioned, returns or storyline plans aren't even a concern for WWE right now. Key executives backstage are just solely focused on Paul Heyman recovering from that absolutely disastrous betrayal on SmackDown last week, and it will definitely be interesting to see how the new Bloodline will be featured on SmackDown moving forward, because of how bad things are health-wise with Paul Heyman after what they did to him last week. Roman Reigns definitely isn't the only one seething, as no doubt management are absolutely furious with Solo and the rest of the Bloodline for what they did, and like we said, punishment from WWE brass is likely heading their way as well, on top of Roman seeking revenge. Well guys, that's it for today's major wrestling news. Make sure you leave a like and comment, and also make sure you subscribe to the channel with notifications turned on so you'll never miss out on an episode. Finally, if you haven't already, give us a follow on Twitter at TSE Wrestling, and we will see you guys in the next video.